Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are playing once again Battletech Advanced 3062, and we have some upgrades. Specifically, we have changed out the ride for Ridgehound, who previously was a Centurion pilot for, well, basically the entire campaign up to this point. As soon as we move past having nothing but urban mechs, he's now riding a clan summoner in a slightly modified Summoner F configuration. So we've ripped out the LRM-10 and up armored, and that's basically the only change. So the mission today is against Clan Jade Falcon. First time we're fighting them, and it's a base destruction. So we have to get up to the top of this hill and well, make our opponents regret they ever built a base in this region. So the Atlas is going to be very slow as usual, but I'm hoping that our long-range missile support will come in very handy. And for those of you who maybe have been around here a little bit longer or are particularly eagle-eyed, you may notice that, well, our paint color scheme has changed. So just to highlight it on the Atlas, we used to have a green and yellow color scheme, and now I guess the Dervish is pretty much entirely green. We have switched to green and red, Christmas colors indeed, but well, I think they look a little bit less completely garish than the green and red, green and yellow we started off with. Of course, the intention of that was to make a show of this being, well, urban mech, so trash cans. I mean, our actual player character is literally named Trash Can because that was the most creative thing I could come up with that was on the theme, ergo not creative at all. So we do unfortunately have a bit of a ways left to run. Starting at the bottom of a wooded hill is not exactly a great way to have all of your assault mechs able to make that climb efficiently. What we are going to do now that we could potentially get into visual range, although it doesn't quite look like it, is we're going to move up with a scout first. Okay, so we see two vehicles, we see three turrets and some buildings. I will be kind of disappointed if that's all we're fighting, but it shouldn't be. We should see more than this. I am hopeful there'll be a couple of clan mechs because we have taken this for 312 salvage, so it's 3 of our pick and 12 of whatever we happen to get. And indeed there is a 70-ton clan mech that's making his way downtown toward us. 40-ton, oh, that's an arrow. That's an arrow. Okay, so there's an artillery vehicle which apparently has indirect fire capabilities on us, and our dervish is taking a little bit of chip damage. Not as bad as I had necessarily expected, but you know, it's never something we want to have stay around for very long. And we are decently well outnumbered here, so the turrets are contributing to this, the vehicles are contributing to this. We're of course only dropping 6 mechs. We have the capabilities now to drop 8, but this being a 3.5 skull mission, I wanted to keep things sporting, so we'll see if I end up regretting that. There's a 70-tonner. Okay, no other mechs on screen right now, and we can get a sensor lock, what little good it will do, on that vehicle. So it's a light volley, should be just an arrow artillery piece carrier, relatively easy to kill, hopefully anyway, and it's a little bit hard to get a shot on it. Let's see, Bandit A hovercraft, that's not what I want. How can I get a shot? We'll have to go through the spores. A little bit of an awkward forward position with the dervish certainly does leave us a little bit exposed, but most of these target signatures are actually on things that can't shoot back, so it's not the end of the world there. Most importantly though, we'll be able to fire in at this Arrow 4 vehicle before he has a chance to shoot at us this turn, and of course that vehicle is now dead and gone. So much the better for us, so much the worse for our opponents. Bandit hovercraft moving up, and that's going to be a complete pain in the butt to deal with. 6 evasion pips is not too shabby at all. Our command marauder is now the next thing that we have on board, but I don't think I want to use that yet. Let's see if we can get any other mechs in firing range. So there's another vehicle. At this point I kind of hope that they send a reinforcing lance to give me some better options for salvage, because even with 3 of our choice from a single 70-ton mech, there's a decent chance we burst his CT and, well, get nothing. So hopefully that isn't what happens. Hopefully there's another lance and more of a challenge on the way. But, I mean, not really going to be able to predict that one way or the other, so for right now, We just have to treat it like this is the sum total of our opposition. Of course, I wasn't asking for more the other day because in our, I think it's either our previous mission or the one before, we were, of course, completely ambushed by a clan reinforcing star. 5 mechs landing directly behind us, and things got pretty tense for a little while. Our King Crab proved that having maximum armor is, in fact, a useful thing, and often quite necessary. Nearly got pounded through. So there's a Summoner H. I would like to get that. I don't think I have any more Summoner pieces, but I mean, the heavy larges are okay, not great. The air mediums are always handy to have. More importantly, having another 70-ton Summoner would be quite an effective increase to our firepower and mobility. I do love that mech design, and of course being an Omni-mech, the exact configuration is not super relevant. So we're going to try to get rid of these LRMs, I think. Not going to be able to do it off of this damage, so we're going to pop Battlelord, increase the damage a little bit. We'll still probably need to hit it with something else. We got pretty close, and I am interested in seeing... So, our Battlemaster, piloted by Bobsled, one of the newer designs, has 2 piercing Gauss rifles on it, and these, of course, go right through our armor and damage structure, dealing 25 points of damage to structure on contact. So it's nothing that we really want to be using on buildings, but it could be very nice for killing heavily armored tanks and turrets with a very, very lightly structured interior points. So, just what I mean by this heavy LRM turret, 300 armor, only 12 structure, so a single hit off of one of those piercing Gauss rifles would have actually been enough to take that thing down. Of course, we aren't quite in range, and that is its own consideration, but the Battlemaster is decently quick, and that shouldn't be a problem forever. For right now, we're going to give the base a little bit of breathing room, not really going to be firing in at that until we can get some of the turrets and other defenses offline. And that includes our friendly little neighborhood tank right there. Although I think the better shot on this turn is probably to kill the heavy LRM turret, who hasn't moved yet. And we're going to drop that down to only 2 shots off the Ultra AC-5, just conserve a little bit of ammunition. More than enough firepower on board for that kill anyway. So there are 3 turrets remaining that we can see now, and there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4, so only the 1 mech in this, the other 3 left alive are in fact vehicles. So that's too far for us to hit. I think we are going to, oh geez, he just sat there and reserved. Okay, well, if that's the play, then can I shoot? Yeah, alright. Well, let's highlight that Marauder just chewing through vehicles again, so, I mean, why not? Okay, so we didn't kill it, but shredded half of its armor in a single volley off of 4 plasma rifles, so I can hardly complain about that. Let's get the Dervish moving. We can either go down and across or up and across. I think we're going to go down and across to right here. I want to look at those other tanks and turrets. Let's see. Okay, so there's a Gauss rifle. Oh jeez, SRM Inferno Carrier, that needs to die right now. Please get shot. Just not enough. If we pop Battlelord instead, we would have been able to get the extra damage. The Oro Gauss fires in and misses, fortunately, so our summoner is a-okay. But we need something to be able to hit that Inferno Carrier before he has a chance to move. And the only thing we have on board for that is the Battlemaster that I had hoped we could end up using for one of these turrets. In fact, I think we are going to anyway. We can deal with the SRM turrets for single, the SRM tank for single round. Heavy sniper turret is an issue. LRM turret is also an issue. Let's go for the sniper turret. The air medium lasers are a little toasty, so let's turn those off, except for, well, we'll turn off 2 of them. I think that's good enough for right now. And piercing Gauss rifles on the way. Yeah, turret destroyed. We needed only 1 to hit. It's a good thing we fired both, because apparently 92.5% accuracy means we'll only get 1 actually making contact. It's always kind of amusing. But yeah, single volley, didn't have to go through all of that armor, just dealt direct damage to the structure underneath. Quite a powerful tool. Hopefully it will be quite a useful utility for us. And when it's aimed at max, keep in mind that you can destroy components. This can include things like upper and lower arms that give accuracy bonuses. It can also include things such as, well, guns. So we potentially kill off part of our opponent's armament before we even get, before we would be able to take the mech off the field for good. So, unfortunately not able to get the shot that I want in that Inferno Carrier, but instead we are going to take a shot at the Heavy Shredder. Oh jeez, I meant to turn that on to... Oh, this is what I get for talking too much and thinking too little. I meant to turn those back on to Fire Mode 2. Here comes the Inferno SRMs, and our Dervish is going to be on fire for quite a bit. Doesn't look like he's building too much heat, but... Yep, there it is. Injury resisted, so he did actually get popped in the dome piece as well. And it's a little bit... Oh, here come the LRMs. Yeah, our Dervish needs to not be in that point position. Notably, I'm not bringing the Crab. I think it didn't quite carry its weight. 50 tons, kind of expect some amount of performance from it, and we couldn't even really get it to distract, which was its whole purpose. So if it's not distracting, then it doesn't really have a purpose. Our rotary Gauss rifle is going to get set to 3 shots. We have the Clan Gauss rifle as well. Triple PPC on the way, and we'll have the Battlemaster deal with that other turret on the next turn. So that's 1 more down, only 1 turret remaining. But we still do have 4 opponents left. Well, more mundane, I suppose, but still a bit of a problem. I think let's go up here so we can get some better direct fire. And then after this, we'll end up using the bracing cockpit from here on out. Could shoot at the SRM Inferno Carrier, but I'm not going to. I'm going to shoot right at this bandit hovercraft. Do we need the precision strike? We may as well, because the bracing cockpit will give us accuracy next turn. So let's do that. Let's try and make sure we can really kill this thing. Oh yeah. More than enough firepower. A bit of overkill there. And that's sort of what the late game balanced Battletech Advanced 3062 is meant to do. If you end up fielding a Steiner Scout Lance of all 100 tonners, well, you'll end up being a little under-efficient, I guess would be one way to put it. So we're going to sprint back, get into the woods as far as we can go with the Dervish. It doesn't solve our instability problem, but it will hopefully keep us from taking too much more heat. Battlelord would be an awful decision because we're currently on fire, and yeah, so we can kind of see, can't even really fire much of anything at all. I'm just going to fire the Narc Launcher on Haywire, because I want to mess with that summoner a little bit. We did Haywire him. So his movement speed will go down, his heat sinking ability will go down. There's quite a lot of utility in that, particularly because we want to get as many pieces as we can from this mech. So let's shoot in, hoping for a headshot against the summoner. Well, no joy, but we do pump his heat up even higher, and that's before he will also be shooting on his own. Let's go up here. Yep, good. And now our summoner can take care of that Inferno Carrier, who has lived altogether too long. We are going to fire everything just in case we get bad scattering. Okay, so there's more than enough. But the medium lasers don't cost any ammunition, so there's really no waste on that end of things. And it was the AC-5 that got the kill. Works well enough for me. There's still an Oro Gauss rifle coming up as well as a turret, but that vehicle hasn't really been able to land a successful shot all day, which, to be honest, works just well enough for me. And now we have our Battlemaster. Let's see, what kind of shot do we have? 84. Let's increase that with a precision strike and put these piercing Gauss rifles to good use. There it is. Nice and easy. That is phenomenal. That saves me 2 to 3 volleys on other things, or having to get all 4 hits with my Plasma Marauder. I have to land 1 of 2 Gauss rifles. Okay, yeah, that seems worth. If it sounds like I'm trying to convince myself, it's kind of because I am. Each one of those piercing Gauss rifles weighs 15 tons, which means that in their place we could have a wide variety of other and quite functional options, which of course we don't have accessible. Do we go for the Oro or do we go for the Summoner? I think we're going to go for the Oro. I want this vehicle dead before it lands that Gauss rifle. Might not be enough to kill it, but if we're lucky we can get close. And that's a lot of damage. Hopefully all of that was jammed in. Nope, pretty scattered. Oh well, that happens sometimes. Let's brace this Atlas and fire in. Here we go. That is what I like to see. Dead vehicle. First two missiles went right into that damaged side torso, exposed the structure, took him down. I do have to say, this is the other reason I kind of wish we were facing more mechs. Look at that paint job. That is a Clan Jade Falcon paint job at its best. Absolutely lovely to look at, and, well, I'm sure it'd be even nicer without all of the scratches we're going to give it, but unfortunately that's not in the cards for this fellow today. So we're going to unload SRMs. We might well get through his side torso here, but that's not the end of the world. I am going to focus on the left leg instead, though, just to see if we can avoid that too much, and we do. So we open up the structure, but we don't kill him completely. And now he's moving on 3, so let's get our Plasma Marauder to take another shot in, hoping to disable. Leg down, very nice. That'll take us down from 5 to 4 pieces of salvage. The exposed structure might take us down to 3, sometimes it seems to, sometimes it doesn't. I'm sure there's a clear rule on it that I just can't think of, frankly, at the moment. Another cool trick, by the way. Let's look at the headpiece of the Summoner. Only 16 internal structure, which means that either one of these piercing Gauss rifles landing in will get the job done. So, let's go for it. 10% chance, 2 shots. Shouldn't happen every time we try it, but if it's a new established precedent... Hey, I think we got it. Pilot incapacitated, 4 salvageable parts, there we go. That gives us the 3 that we need for salvage, well, chosen salvage anyway, without even requiring any reinforcement lance to show up, although it would still be nice to get more on the way. Well, more by way of salvage options. It's not necessarily something that's required. This game does have an element of know when to take the paycheck, and if we just can get the paycheck, so much the better. After all, fewer ammo expenditure costs and fewer mech bay costs are their own sort of reward. So let's fire in with the Atlas. I think let's try and take out small military building. Don't think we'll be able to get it in one, but we can certainly do a lot, and it won't be as wasted as trying to finish off the other one. 2 buildings, both of them nearly gone, because of course they are. And now we have the... let's see. We can deal nearly 400 damage with this. Let's go for that small military building there. Okay. 1 down, other 2 basically demolished. If they're going to drop reinforcements, now is kind of the last opportunity. Maybe not the last opportunity, but certainly getting close to the end of it. Second one gone, sometimes you see reinforcements dropped after this. We'd be in a spot of trouble because we don't have tons of evasion, but I don't think it's going to happen. And let's fire away. Leopard inbound.
I'll meet you at the LZ.
Alright. Oh. Still a mission, but we've killed everyone. That's a little confusing. Maybe now they're dropping reinforcements? I don't know. It's a bit of a puzzle. Could be. It could be that they were going to wait until the end of the round after we destroyed a building or 2, but since we destroyed them all in the same turn, there was really no opportunity for that. Who's to say? So let's get rid of the bracing cockpit. Let's start getting to the evac zone, just in case we don't really want to engage here. And yeah, I don't know why it did an auto evac, but it would appear that we're doing it manually today. And should be 1 more turn before we can get everyone on that evac spot. Let's see. Yeah, still no reinforcements. Huh. Not quite sure what's going on. In any case, we got to evac, and that's fine with me. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.